I know normally I'd start off an episode talking about myself because I'm an egomaniac, but I just had a little look before I hit record at who took over from me as Forest Green manager because I knew some of you would ask. And the idea of this man as a vegan just delights me. Let me know down in the comments, who do you think has replaced me as manager of Forest Green? I will show you right at the start of the episode, so don't cheat because that would just be mean. But it's brilliant. It's almost art. It's so perfect. Hello and welcome to Club 2 Part 2 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have an FA Cup game away against Reading and a game in the Championship at home against Sunderland. Since you were last with me, we've still not won our first game in the league for Bristol Rovers. I feel a little bit out of my depth. These players aren't very good. They don't play in the positions I want them to play. And I'm struggling a little bit. We couldn't do anything useful in January because we still haven't got any money. We did bring some money in and it's made no difference to that. Or that. We have signed one player. That's all we were able to do. Let's start with looking at the transfers. Because I did try. I'm trying to carry on being sensible like I was at Forest Green. So we've let Jack Barmby go for £350,000 to go to Wigan because he's 27. He was like our third choice winger and he's not good enough. So we let him go. We bring in some cash. Same sort of theory behind Joe Partington leaving. He was our third choice right back. Let him go. And we've also let a couple of players go out on loan, but no one else. There weren't any offers for anybody else. I would have happily sold a striker because we have gone to the 4-5-1 we were using at Forest Green. Because my plan now is just survive till the end of the season. The board want me to stay up. We probably already have most of the points we need to be able to do that. If we pick up some draws along the way, we should be able to stay up. And I need to do a full rebuild job in the summer. So we're just trying to survive until then. And the one player I've brought in is a defensive midfielder. He's a very good one. Matt Smith, 22-year-old, full Wales international, can play defensive midfielder or central midfield. 3.5-star current ability, 4-star potential. Was at Man City, had time on loan at 20 and at Birmingham. This is an example of one of those players who has spent the first half of the season without a club, presumably because his expectations were too high. He's left Man City, he's expecting to go and play in the Premier League or go and earn too much money. And he's then made it all the way through to January and it's like, I've not got a club yet. I need a job. I'll go and play for Bristol Rovers on not a huge amount of money, £4,800. He's earning less than I am. And I still love the fact I'm on £6,500. So he's come in. I think he's going to be a cracking signing. And hopefully a sign of the kind of player we're looking to bring in what I think is going to be a long-term job here at Bristol Rovers. The plan is survive. That's all it's about. It's about survival. We're down into 18th place, 30 games gone, 34 points on the board. We're 8 points clear of the relegation zone. So we're not safe by any means, but we do play Sunderland today. We must beat Sunderland. If we can grind out a win against Sunderland, that's going to push us up to 37 points, and then we're getting much closer to where we need to be. I think we should be able to win 4 or 5 games before the end of the season. We're certainly not looking for mid-table or playoff finishes or any of the crazy stuff people were talking about off the back of the first episode, but we'll be fine. We need to survive, do a thorough rebuild in the summer, and then have a proper season next season. Or jump ship and move somewhere else, like we did to Forest Green. On the topic of Forest Green, I mentioned they had a new manager. It is delightful. The new manager of Forest Green Rovers is Wayne Rooney. And I love it. He's earning more than I was, £1,500 a week. But it's his first management job. He's presumably moved back from America. He left DC United on the 12th of December. He's had a nice Christmas, filling his face with turkey, and then he's arrived at Forest Green, become a vegan, and sold half my team. I mean, look at the state of what he's done. He's arrived. He's appointed a new director of football, mainly because Glenn Roeder came with me. But he's appointed a new director of football, then sold Keita, sold McGinley, sold Reece Brown, sold Will Collar, sold Liam Shepherd, sold Mason Bloomfield, sold Farrand Rawson. What is he doing? We weren't in financial trouble. We didn't need to sell all these players. Presumably he just has a plan in his head for what he wants to do. And it's a rubbish plan because he's as bad at Forest Green as I am at Bristol Rovers. They're obviously still top of the league because I left them so far clear. Still 19 points clear of the playoffs. Should still get promoted. Might not be champions anymore because Wimbledon are closing down. And he's selling the best players to Wimbledon. Mason Bloomfield, who was top scorer, 2 goals in his last game, has gone to Wimbledon, title rivals, for 25 grand. Wayne Rooney, what are you thinking? Jordan Rhodes hasn't scored a goal since I left. He is very sad that I'm not there anymore. Poor old Jordan. Look at what Wayne Rooney's done to that man. I feel very sad about Jordan Rhodes, and this is the system that he's playing. He's gone from our successful system that we were using to a 4-4-2 that's not working. I'm very angry with you, Wayne Rooney, but this is the system we're using, and this is going to be. This looks a lot more familiar. This is the system that Forest Green should be using, and it's not working for us. Mick McCarthy was playing a 4-4-2 or a 4-3-3 on variants of it. I've tried. It doesn't work. I've recently switched to this and we've managed to pick up a couple of draws. So we're going to persist with this and we're just going to try not to lose games and grab goals when the opportunity presents itself. That's my best plan. So we've got Bender in goal, a back four of Folds, Harris, Lockyer and Randall. Clark is our ball-winning midfielder at the base of the midfield with Sercombe and Hackney in front of him. Langton is going to be up front, supported by Tavernier and Maddox. New boy Matt Smith did play in the last game as a substitute, but I don't want to risk him in the FA Cup. He's not match fit yet. We'll bring him back in for the next league game. And Tunji Akinola, who I tried to sign in the summer for Forest Green, was released by Bradford City, so we've brought him in, and he's probably not good enough to play for us. So we'll send him down to Wayne Rooney because he'd be a cracking signing for Forest Green. But this is our team. It's a very good League One side, is the best I can say about it, who've massively overperformed because presumably Mick McCarthy downloaded an exploit tactic off of the Steam Workshop. I can only assume that's what he's done because, like I say, it's a good League One team. It's not. That's where they were last year. They got promoted from League One last year. It is not a Championship team. We need to pretty much replace the entire squad. And we've got no money to do it. I know we're underdogs here. Let's give the fans something to cheer for. Yeah, let's do that. It doesn't matter. I don't care about the FA Cup. But what I do care about is getting us into some kind of form. So we did draw the first game against Reading, which is why we got the replay. That's how the FA Cup works, for those of you who weren't sure on that. And hopefully we can slowly start drifting towards some kind of form. I think this is the 4th game in a row we've used the Forest Green tactic. I did try and play a system that would work for Bristol Rovers, and like I say, it wasn't working. We were being completely outclassed in games. So let's go back to the plan we had when we arrived this time last year at Forest Green. The plan was just grind out results, because remember, the situation at Forest Green was far worse than the situation here at Bristol Rovers when we arrived, because we were very much in the relegation battle already. But I guess it was kind of a reverse situation in that we were already in the relegation zone, but we had a team capable of getting promoted, whereas at Bristol Rovers we've got a team that should be relegated and we just happen to be in the top half of the table because of overachievement. So my plan is the same for both scenarios. Grind out results, get safe, sort it out in the summer. And Liam Sercombe's just scored a lovely goal to equalise for us. So we've got there's a little bit of talent sprinkled throughout this squad. Some of the lone players are particularly good, but none of them are players we can keep for next year. So we'll use them to try and stay up this time around, which I guess was McCarthy's plan. That's why he's got so many in. Didn't have the money to go out and sign improvements permanently, so brought in the likes of Tavernier, Langton, who are good players. They're Championship players, but they're not ours. And I tried to extend their loans, and they weren't interested. And we're paying them as well. So that's one of the reasons why the finances are such a mess. It's good, like I said, a long-term job. We only ended up with 10 episodes at Forest Green. I think this might be a club where we have to bed in for a season or two to actually start looking good. I don't think we're going to be poached by a Premier League club in the next year, because I don't think we're going to overperform with Bristol Rovers the way we did with Forest Green. So I think this is going to be a slower build club. Langton with a lovely little finish though. I'll keep saying it, we're rubbish, and hopefully we'll keep scoring, but it's going to be a slower build, hopefully another sensible summer like we had at Forest Green last time round. And next year we're aiming for a mid-table finish next season. It does rely on us staying up this season though, which isn't guaranteed by any stretch of the imagination. But we're playing well today. We've had a couple of decent goals. If we can tighten up at the back. I don't actually know what division Reading are in. Reading are above us, just above us in our league. So it's a team where I'd like to think we could go away and grab a draw. It's time for everyone to dig in, give it. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That should be our motto for the rest of the season. It's time to dig in, give it everything that you've got, acknowledge that. Oh, that was just rubbish. I thought he got sent off there. I mean, he's basically asking for Matt Smith to come in and take his role in the team very, very soon. But that's what I want. Crunching tackles. I want players trying hard. None of this, let's play attacking football nonsense. Let's just crunch players, score goals on the break, and become what inexplicably has become the Kev style of non-league to legend this year, which those of you who've been around on the channel since before FM19 will know it's the opposite to how I've always played before, but it does seem to be what's working this year. It worked at St Albans, it worked at Forest Green. We just got to hope we can get it working at Bristol Rovers as well. That was a very big opportunity as well, probably the best chance of the game there, and it's driven wide by Hackney. And we've got a few options to come off the bench that we might freshen things up pretty soon. Maddox, I'm not sure if Maddox is a winger. We've played him in midfield a couple of times where he's not great either. I don't know if Maddox is going to be a player who's going to be sticking around. Where's the pause button? Why can't I click the pause button? There we go. So Jacob Maddox is going to come off and we're going to bring on Sylvester Jasper, who's another one who's in on loan. This seems like a player we probably didn't need to bring in. We're paying him. He's on loan from Fulham, but we've already got Tavernier who's in on loan. There's another winger knocking around who's on loan as well. Just seems like Mick McCarthy got a little bit excited with some of his loans. We'll bring on John Pask as well to play as a defensive midfielder, push Clark up into the midfield. That's where Matt Smith is going to be once he's fit. So that's the plan for him. I'm going to shout in a minute. I feel like a shout coming. That's not a warning for headphone users. That's a tactic that I'm about to use. So let's show some passion. We're all about passion and trying hard. That's the new Bristol Rovers mentality that we need. The fans must love me. They've been playing nice football and scoring goals for 2 years. And now I've come in and said, right, tighten things up. Crunching tackles. That's what we do now. Lockyer's going to come off for Remy Street. We need a little bit of a change at centre-back. And it looks like we're heading for extra time, which I guess over 2 legs against Reading, the fact that we've not been outclassed shows that we are there or thereabouts. I think once we get used to playing this system, we shouldn't get relegated. We're the underdogs here. Oh, that day didn't like that at all. And my assistant manager couldn't rescue it. I've ruined it in extra time. We have created the better chances looking at that. What the worry is, Reading haven't created even a half chance yet and we've given them 2 goals. So it worries me that we're maybe not good enough defensively, which, considering our defenders are our 2 centre-backs are our 2 best players, according to the star ratings, that then gives you some context about how good we are as a team in comparison to the rest of the division. If we're not good enough at the back and our defenders are our best players, that's why we've got a bit of a problem going on. £6.5 a week, though. I'm living in a mansion. Who cares? Who cares? I've still got some vegan snacks left as well. So if Rooney fouls up at Forest Green and I end up going back, I've still got some corn peanuts that I can eat when I get back there. So all is not lost. Looks like we've got a penalty shootout. Auto pick. So they're our penalty takers, are they? I believe you, auto pick. You'd never let me down before. And now we get a penalty shootout. We get to find out how good our goalkeeper is. And he missed that one. Where's my coffee? We might be here a while. Reading had 32 shots in that game. We had 8. And Tavernier can't take penalties. Well, there you go. That tells me all I need to know. How did Reading have 32 shots but not even create a half chance? What were they doing? Were they just shooting from the halfway line for the whole game? Clark now. Can he grab a goal for us? He runs up and tucks it straight down the middle. Beautiful stuff. Now we need our goalkeeper to step up and save one of these. This seems like a good opportunity to do that, Mr. Bender. Are you going to save this one? No? Okay. Let's try again in a minute then. Circum now scored a good goal from open play in the game. Can he grab us another one from the penalty spot to keep us in it? He hits the crossbar, I think. Well, we're not very good at penalties, are we? But if Bender doesn't save this, then we're out, I think. Or as good as, because we're not going to score both of our remaining ones. Because apparently we're rubbish at penalties. Which, who cares about the FA Cup anyway? We just needed the money. The cup run money is important. And, I thought he'd saved that one. But there we go. Not impressed. You know what? I don't want to do it because I messed it up last time. There you go. My assistant manager's rescued morale. Good boy. Hopefully we can take some of that morale into the game against Sunderland that we've got to win. And we're not very good. And I've not won in 10 games. Sack me. And give me a big payoff. Forget everything I just said. I'm flailing. You know what I get like when I'm panicking? I'm flailing about. We've got to beat Sunderland. We've got 3 decent strikers. They're used to playing together as a 3. Let's play them as a 3. We're going with the 4-3-3. It hasn't worked so far. But then, hold on. Nothing's worked so far. If we go all the way back to when they were last winning under Mick McCarthy, Sheffield Wednesday, we played a 4-3-3. So we're going to try a 4-3-3 again and see if it works against a team that we're supposedly better than. We're going with Bender in goal, a back four of Folds, Harris, Street and Lockyer, with Circum, Clark and Hackney in midfield, Langton, Payne and Adebayo up front. We don't have a fourth striker, so if anything happens, we've got to bring on some of the wingers. So it does mean the likes of Tavernier, Bennett, Maddox, they're all dropping down to the bench. Jasper, we've got 4. Jasper, hold on, is he English or not? He's English. He's Jasper, not Jasper. Sylvester Jasper. So we've got 4 wingers, a left back and a defensive midfielder on the bench. We should probably bring Matt Smith into that mix. Let's get rid of Jasper and have another midfielder on there as well, just to be on the safe side. But we're going with a positive mentality. It's still the basis way back when of the direct counter-attacking preset. So we're still trying to play a high-tempo game. We're still trying to play for set pieces. But we're trying to be a bit more attacking. So we need to pile on the misery to Sunderland. I can't do team talks. The Bristol Rovers players, they don't believe in me yet. We need to get them to believe in me. Remember, Mick McCarthy went to Derby, so we're using them as our yardstick. They're 2 places above us, 4 points ahead. Let's finish above them and show him that I'm a better manager than him, even though I can't get this bunch of players to play well. Should try long balls. You want long balls, do you? I mean, I'm not against long balls. Do some long balls. We've got 3 strikers on. Let's lump the ball up to them. I don't usually listen to my assistant manager, but he was here when we were any good. So perhaps today's the day to start. And we've scored. And it's from a set piece. And it's Victor Adebayo, who's a player who I haven't given any time to yet. I would consider him my 3rd choice striker. So when we're playing with a 1 striker system, he's rarely getting on the pitch. And there you go. He's showing me why he should be starting a bit more often by tucking away a header nice and early on. But we can't defend. Oh, we can't defend. This has been our problem since I've arrived. My teams have been so solid defensively throughout non-league to legend so far this year. And this Bristol Rovers team cannot defend. And it's very frustrating because supposedly the 2 best players at the club are both centre-backs. But as a team, we cannot defend. And Sunderland coming at us again here. And this worries me because they're knocking the ball around as if we don't have any defenders at all. And there's just players in spaces everywhere. Why can we not get a tackle in? Somebody tackle a Sunderland player. There you go. Langton comes in and does exactly that. But then just aimlessly plays it forward. We've got 2 strikers ahead of him. Neither of them even moved. One of them is playing as a pressing forward and still didn't move. And they're just knocking it around again. And have we got any defenders? What is happening here? Somebody tackle. How? How are we not capable? Sunderland are rubbish. It's not like we're being outclassed by a better team. Sunderland are worse than we are. They shouldn't be capable of doing what they're doing. We're playing an attacking system. We've had 32% possession. This is just rubbish. That tactic doesn't work. We'll try a 4-4-2. We've got a 4-4-2 that we've been learning as well. We need to bring some wingers on. Right, who's been the worst striker? Worst striker has been Stephen Payne. He's coming off. We're going to bring Tavernier on for him, I think. Or it's saying Jacob Maddox. No, we're bringing Tavernier on because we know he's any good. So he's going to come on the left wing. Who's been our worst midfielder? Ollie Clark. He's already out there. That's handy, Ollie. We're going to bring Kyle Bennett on for him. And we're going to go to a 4-4-2. And we're just going to try doing something a little bit different. I'll tell you what, I'm going to leave Get Stuck In on. I normally take it off, but it would just be nice to see us do a tackle, even if it's a bad one. Should we push them forward? We could even do. This is what we did in our very first game at the club, and it was a disaster. But maybe today's the day to try it again. You can be a target man, and let's try this. There you go. I don't often have a half-time meltdown, but that's pathetic. That is just pathetic. If we can't play better than that against Sunderland, we're in League One next year with Forest Green, and the only thing justifying the move then is the big pile of cash that I'm rubbing myself with every night. Because remember, they did offer me 6 times my previous salary, so it doesn't matter if we end up in the same league as them. I know some of you, for the Football Manager purists, will be saying, Kev, you should have stayed at Forest Green, you should have won a title. You could have got into League One anyway. That's where you're going to end up. I say, who cares what league we're in? I've got all the monies, and that's the most important thing. Lovely long ball forward to no one in particular. We're playing like a non-league team. Adebayo out to Bennett. Bennett needs to prove why he needs to be starting in the next game. Is wingers the way forward? Show me wingers are the way forward. I mean, can we just not be rubbish just for a minute? I want to go back to Forest Green, but I can't because Wayne Rooney's ruined them. There's no Forest Green to go back to. Oh, he's gone in there, brought a cheeseburger with him, and all the vegans have left. I don't know what to do. It would appear that we're lacking in central areas. We're lacking everywhere. We're just rubbish. We're not a very good football team. Let's bring on my new man, Matt Smith. Let's get him on in the midfield. He can come on for Circum, who's been rubbish. And hopefully he'll be a game changer. I don't even know what to say to him. Show some passion. Just show something. Just do something that looks like a football. Bennett, running into the area. That's more like it. That looked like he was trying to play football. Let's go and score a goal now. From the corner. Langton to take the corner. We scored from the last one we got a highlight for. Smith can't get on the end of it though, and now Sunderland are on the break. Sunderland, who I say again, are in the relegation zone and are not very good and are making us look terrible. Tavernier, going to get himself sent off here? If you're sent off here, I'm sacking you. I know you're only here on loan, but I will drive you back to your parent club and sack you from them too. You absolute moron. No, he's not even got a yellow card. He gets to stay then. I think that's reasonable. I don't know what to do. I think we just have to bend over and take our medicine. We're just rubbish. We're going to get relegated. And if I get sacked, at least I'll get a big payoff. And I've got that promotion on my CV. Not the Forest Green one. We left before that happened. But I've got the St Albans promotion on my CV. Oh, we're not very good at football, but at least they paid me a lot of money. Every time in Non-League to Legend, I go to a club that doesn't feel right, but I go for the money and the mansion. This is like Tour all over again. Those of you who were around a couple of years ago when we went to France and we ended up at Tour and lasted 6 months, got relegated, got sacked. But I had a lot of money in a big house. The problem is no one had given me a job afterwards because I'd been found out at a level I wasn't good enough to play at. Yeah, you're training tomorrow. That was turd. Back to the drawing board. In fact, forget the drawing board. Just back to what we know. I will play nothing but this formation for the rest of the season. And if we get relegated, we get relegated. And so be it. But it's the only thing that has worked for me this year. It's what it worked at Forest Green. It will work again here. Because the important thing we've got here is we still have a cushion. It's not a very big cushion anymore, but there's a cushion. And if we can string together 3 or 4 wins, then we'll be safe. When are we coming back? Probably, hopefully before I get sacked. I don't know. We'll be back. Sure, we've got to play Derby, I guess. Fulham and Derby, because Derby's where Mick McCarthy went. So we'll invite Mick McCarthy back to the Memorial Ground. Is that where Bristol Rovers play? I think it is. Where'd you see? The Memorial Stadium. My apologies to the people of Bristol, or half of you. Anyway, the other half don't care. But we'll invite Mick McCarthy back to have a look around, and see what he thinks. He's probably. I'll just try and pick his brains and ask him what to do. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos, and thank you very much for watching.